my last project, you're gonna be surprised at this one, is my Longline Cardigan. Remember that one? Yeah, it's been a hot minute since I've done this one. I don't have it in my notes, but I don't think I've touched it since the end of July, maybe the first week of August. Everyone, welcome to Michelle's Fiber Studio podcast. My name is Michelle and I am your host. Today is Monday, September 23rd. Yeah, it is the 23rd. And this is episode number 24 of the podcast. If this is your first time visiting, well, I thank you so much for checking me out. And if you are a returning viewer, thank you so much for coming back. Today is a partly cloudy day. It's been in the mid-60s, so not super cold, but cool enough that I'm actually wearing some woolies today that we can talk about. I do have some project updates and such. Before we get started though, let's talk about what I'm wearing, what Marta's wearing. So this is my Islands in the Stream that I did last spring. I think I finished it in May, right when I was first starting the podcast. The pattern is by Paper Daisy Creations, and my yarn is by Dirty Water Dye Works in her Lillian blend, which is 100% superwash merino. And the colors are March Sky, which is the gray, and then it was the Moon Shadow Gradient, which is a whole range of blues. And I'm also wearing a shawl pin here. I got this weekend. We went to the Common Ground Fair, which I will talk about later. But my shawl pin is by Stephen Willett. I've got his business card here. You can find his stuff at stephenwillett.com. He is a local wood turner, I guess you could say, and he makes the circuit of all of the fairs and festivals and anything fibery. You can pretty much count on Stephen Willett being there. He does wood crochet hooks and buttons and nose to penne, spindles, all like shawl pins. Like there's all kinds of things that he makes, which is really super cool. So I got this pin this weekend here. I'll kind of come in a little closer. I loved the wood grain of it. There we go. I think it's so pretty. So super fun, super cool. So that's what I'm wearing. Marta is wearing a pattern called Neptune's Horses. This is by Hilary Latimer. This is one that I knit back in the spring summer of 2023. I cast it on May 15th and finished it on August 6th. It is a kit that I had gotten from Miss Babs. It's her Yummy 2-ply, and it was called the Neptune's Horses set. So the 4 colors, and I don't remember which is which. I think this dark blue is the Salish. I have Star of Holland, which I think is this lighter teal, Beach Chair, and then Spring Lettuce, I think. I think it starts with the darker blue and went down into the lighter green, but I don't recall exactly. This is one that Instagram got me on. I saw the pattern posted, and I think Miss Babs had been the one to post the kit. And these are like my colors. I love those colors, and yeah, I just kind of fell over. It was in March, so it was cold and dreary, and decided I needed the kit, and then got the kit and cast it on. And so this is a fun pick-me-up in the middle of the winter. So that's what we're wearing, and with that, let's go ahead and get started. I have no finished objects this week, so we're gonna dive right into what is in my project bag. Let's see, let's start with my Dress It Up Shawl, which is by Lisa K. Ross of Paper Daisy Creations. I really do enjoy her patterns very much. I got a fair amount done on this one this week. Get all my needles from not being tangled up in it, but here we go. So yeah, I love it. I love the colors. Where's my, yeah, look at that. I was way down here at the beginning of, or last week when I podcasted. I completed the first section with the fall color, or they're all fall colors, but with the multicolored one. I did this color 2, my second repeat of the first color, and I'm just starting my lace repeat. I've just joined my maroon here. So let's talk about the yarn. This here is by Fiber Stash Dye Works. And where's my other tag? Here it is. So Fiber Stash Dye Works. It is their Twinkle Toes sock yarn, which is a 75% superwash merino, 20% nylon, and 5% twinkle. And this one here is, can you see the twinkle? And All the Fall is the color name on that one. And then the second color here, my color 2, I know my lighting is not that great this afternoon, is Cora Crawley is the colorway name on that one. So those are the colors that I'm doing. I'm really loving these colors. This is going to be a really fun one to wear this fall. Hopefully I can get it done in the next 2 weeks. I'd like to actually have it done. I decided I'm going to do the Stephen West make along this fall, which starts October 3rd, I do believe. I know it's on a Thursday, so I think it's the 3rd, which is a week and a half away, I do believe. So it'd be lovely if I could get this done by then. I don't know, we'll see. I haven't done lace in a while, but I do enjoy lace, and I find that I can actually move fairly quickly with lace because it keeps my brain interested, and so I'm more likely to continue to just keep going with it instead of putting it down after a couple rows of just back and forth straight knitting. There are times when just the plain knitting is really nice to have, but sometimes it can almost be mind-numbing to just work back and forth, and so having a bit of lace I think is going to be quite enjoyable. So I'm looking forward to that. I hope that this yarn isn't too dark and that the lace actually does stand out, but I guess we will see. So, all right, so that again is my Dress It Up by Lisa K. Ross. Let's see, we'll take this one out next. This is my Color Wave drawstring bag. I don't remember, I don't think I took this out for a couple weeks. It's been a few weeks since I brought this out. And I don't remember where I had left off, but look how cute is that? I think it's 2 more rows of this pink, and then that will be the body of the bag. So if I hold it back, there we go. Maybe you can get a better sense of the size of it. So it's gonna be not a bad size. And then I have some sort of straps, enclosure, some more finish work. So yeah, maybe I can get this one done. Wouldn't that be cool? I could have a finished object for next week. So the yarn that I am using is from Hobby Lobby. This is a crochet pattern too, I should mention. It's the I Love This Cotton by Hobby Lobby. And this particular color that I'm using is the Rosy. And then I got the other 3 colors there, the teal, brown, and green. And I don't remember what colors I didn't write them into my notes, but you can see them here. I have a whole bunch of different colors for all of these bags. I'm really hoping that I can kind of get on the stick here and start churning these out and have them ready as gifts for my nieces for Christmas. So I have 6 of these that I will need to make, so I really need to get going, crack-a-lackin', as a friend of mine used to say, on these little drawstring bags. But they're kind of fun, little diversion. Now that I really feel like this week was kind of a shift in my getting settled into the school week. So now that I think I've finally got a bit of a routine, maybe I can pull this out and have a little bit more progress on that. Excuse me. Take a sip of water here. I've been fighting a little bit of a cold, so if I sound a little nasally, that would be why. Let's take out my Musselburgh hat next. See how much progress I got done on this. Not a ton, but not too shabby either. So here we go. I got what? 1.5 inches, maybe? Actually more like 2.5 inches done. I actually didn't do maybe 4 or 5 rows last week. I just didn't get a chance to really pull it out at school, but I took it with me when we went to the fair, and I was walking around and knitting on it here and there. So I actually got a good amount done, a good amount of what you see done just while walking around the fair. So I know last week I had, I think, 5 inches to go before I was ready for my crown decreases. And I would say that I have got a solid 2 inches. So 2.5 to 3 inches is what I got left. I'm really, again, hoping this one I can get through those rounds and ready to do the decreases this week as well. That's another one of my goals this week. As I've said before, I have another one that I have to cast on for my daughter for Christmas. So this one needs to get going, but here's my yarn. I don't think I've shown the yarn in a little while. So this is by Hypnotic Yarns. It's my Yarnables yarn, and the colorway is Love is Love, and it was my February of 2024 yarn. So that is going to be a fun one. I'm excited to have this done and see what this whole Musselburgh craze is. I've enjoyed knitting them. I have yet to wear one. This is my 4th one, and it's my first one for me. So I'm very excited to give this one a try once I finish it and see. I'm not a huge hat person, but I'm really excited to have this one in my wardrobe. All right, and my last project, you're gonna be surprised at this one, is my Longline Cardigan. Remember that one? Yeah. It's been a hot minute since I've done this one. I don't have it in my notes, but I don't think I've touched it since the end of July, maybe the first week of August, maybe. But once I really kind of shifted my focus on getting several projects done in time for the beginning of the pigskin party, this one kind of got set aside because I knew I couldn't do them all. And so this was the one that got put on the back burner. So I'm almost done. This is what I have left of my first ball of yarn. I took it out on Friday night for the first time, actually. So what you see, I did Friday night. Oh, here we go. This is the right side. Look at that. I've actually joined for the body. So if I hold up the back, where's my stitch marker? Yep, see down there is where my stitch marker was. And I worked all of this, and then I think it was the right side that I had to work, and then joined it not in the round, but joined it so that I can now work back and forth. So this part here is a really big and tall collar. I'm really interested. I've just barely joined. You can see I literally have like, what, 2 rows done? Okay, come on. Don't focus on my face. Focus on my knitting. There we go. So like 2 rows done of this join. So I want to get another 4 or 5 rows done, close to 1 inch or so, and then try it on so I can see exactly what this collar does. It felt tall, but I don't know. We'll see. I'm still not 100% convinced, but I need to figure that out before I go too far. So, but I'm really pleased with what I got accomplished there. Let's talk about the yarn. So the yarn is some yarn that I've had in my stash for a very long time. It is by Regia. It is their bamboo blend. And it is color number 93. So it's nothing interesting on that. I had to buy, I didn't think I was going to have enough yarn. Obviously, I still have 2 full balls that I haven't even touched, but I don't know that I'm going to have enough yarn to do the full length and the arms the way that I kind of want them. So I ended up going to my local yarn store and buying another shade of gray that complements it and matches it in twist, and I'm going to work that in somehow. Initially, I was thinking of maybe putting a wide stripe on the arms, and then maybe along the bottom of the body. But my most recent thought was to just stripe the sleeves in wide stripes. So I might do that too. There's about 20 inches of body and then 15 rows of ribbing. So I still have a fair bit of knitting to go on this. And what I'll probably do is at least knit through the next ball, the second ball, before I then kind of start thinking about maybe working the sleeves, because I could do the sleeves and then come back, depending on how far down that ball takes me, I could then come back and finish the body after. So I may do that. I don't know. We will see where I land on that one. But this one's back in the rotation, and hopefully, I know I won't get any points for it for the pigskin party when I finish it, but I don't want it sitting here until February either. So it'll just get worked on, and it's gonna be what it'll be as far as points, but that's okay. So those are my projects. That's where I'm at with that. And yeah, I think we can move on. In today's random knitting fact, I'm going kind of back into the history books. This one comes from Mother Knitter website, or the website The Mother Knitter. And it kind of goes back to the very beginning of knitting and even before knitting. So before knitting, there was a needlework technique that was known as nail binding. It's a Norwegian word, which means needle binding. And it creates a fabric that's similar to knitting by looping and knotting yarn with a single needle. It is often associated with the Vikings, but it was also practiced in other parts of the world. Archaeologists have found nail binding fragments dating from various periods, such as 10,000 years ago in Israel, 7,700 years ago in Germany, and the 5th or 6th century BC in Egypt, and 9th or 10th century in Norway. So yeah, really, oh no, 5th or 6th century current, not BC, after AD, in Egypt, and 9th or 10th century in Norway. There we go. But before in BC in Israel and Germany too. So that's really kind of cool to have those kinds of fragments. Nail binding. I believe that is still something that happens, because I saw some nail binding tools made by Stephen Willett actually when I was over at the Common Ground Fair this weekend. So that is still definitely a technique, or a needle technique that is used. So yeah, and at any rate, that is your fact for this week. Alright, and this week's day-to-day is kind of short and sweet, because it was a quiet week. It was delightful. I didn't have to go anywhere in the evenings this week. I did have Bible study on Wednesday, but Wednesday I got home from work and I was really, really exhausted. So I ended up staying home, just quiet. Had a really, really quiet week, and it was fantastic. Saturday, however, and I've referenced this a couple of times, we did go to what is called here in Maine as the Common Ground Fair. It is run by the Maine Organic Farm Growers Association. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what that is. So it's called a fair, but I'm going to use that in kind of the loosest sense of the terms. It's really more of a festival. It's not anything like a traditional agricultural fair, county fair that you might think of. There's no rides, no midway, no, none of that. There are some animal barns, but just a really small handful. It's nothing the size of what you would expect if you're going to a traditional agricultural farm. What it does have is lots and lots of vendors of specialty artisans. So if you think of tinsmiths and photographers and leather workers and wood turners and pottery, you know, the high-end types of artisans, they're all represented there. There's a section with some natural yarn dyers, so not a lot of dyed yarn, kind of like you would think of in a traditional, I guess traditional is probably not the right word, but acid dyes or any of those chemical dyes. It's a lot more of the natural dyes and much more rustic and natural fibers and that kind of thing. There's a whole section with a farmer's market, and it's basically anything and everything to do with sustainability and eco-friendly and living off the earth kind of vibe. The food vendors that are there are a little bit more upscale, I guess you could say, and I know that they do give preference to vendors who are going to use all natural ingredients. They practice recycling and composting with all of the food or whatever. There's compost bins that you're expected to help try to recycle and compost and that kind of a thing. So it's a really cool festival. They have we got a big jar of honey, like a 5-pound jar of honey. There's all kinds of things. You can go on the MOFGA, MOFGA.org or .com, I can't recall, but you can pull them up right on their website and you can see all of the things and kind of get a better sense of that, about all the organic kind of stuff. So we spent the afternoon there on Saturday, my husband and son and I, wandering around and checking out all the booths. There's talks, like at any given hour, there's like 5 or 6 different segments of the fair where there's a different kind of a talk going on all kinds of different topics. So that's kind of cool. There was a sheepdog demonstration that my husband and son really enjoyed watching. So yeah, the weather was perfect. It was mid-60s, high 60s actually. It was partly sunny, mostly cloudy, but if the sun had been out, it really would have been rather warm. So yeah, we had a great time. I got my shawl pin. I got a bunch of soap, some goat's milk soap that I can stock my bathroom with, and my honey. My husband got a bunch of raw carrots, which he always enjoys. So that was pretty much the exciting thing in this last week. Stopped by and visited with my mother-in-law on the way home, and then yesterday, Sunday, we had to run out for groceries, but other than that, after church, I laid low and just, again, I'm still kind of recovering from the start of the school year, and I had the show a few weeks back, and I'm getting over a cold this week, so it was good to just kind of lay low. So that's pretty much all I've got from here. Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed this podcast, please give it a like, and please feel free to subscribe so you'll know when I always post something new. I try to post my podcast every Tuesday mornings. I will have links down below in the show notes for all of the things that that I have talked about, that you can find, that I've talked about. And you can find me on Ravelry and Instagram as Knittin Michelle, KNITTINMICHELLE. You can feel free to email me at michellesfiberstudio@gmail.com. With that, I hope you have a fantastic week and happy knitting.